just about afternoon, so good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Game Day 15 Premier League Review Show. I'm Gav Mack, that's Stephen Cotton, and that's Ed Hall. How are you, gents?
Hello.
Yeah, what was that? What was that, like a little flick? That was like
exactly.
Cat.
I'm still feeling a little bit worse and worse from over Christmas, if I'm perfectly honest.
I'm super bloated. I've just eaten a lot of meat and drank a lot of beer.
Yeah, do you know what? Mine wasn't really too much beer. I've indulged myself and had dairy and had pastry and stuff, which isn't particularly great for me. So,
excuse me.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been lovely, especially with all the football as well. So.
We all love football, and that's why we're here. So we're going to be going back through all the games on Boxing Day and on the 27th. There are games later on today, but we'll briefly talk about that towards the end. I'm sporting the Arsenal 92 home shirt, which arrived this morning, which I'm very happy about. Just be retro, and I actually feel really comfortable wearing it today. But we're not going to be starting.
One week you dare wear an Arsenal shirt on the show.
I know.
To be fair to you, Gav, you are always wearing an Arsenal shirt, regardless.
Well, it depends. If it's been a bad
one, the banana one. Arsenal
shirt.
could lose 8-2 to Man United, and he'd still wear that banana shirt.
I tend to wear the Arsenal shirt. Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's like, I'm repping
Mönchengladbach. Yeah, that's the one, yeah.
You hear so much about Palermo when Arsenal were playing crap.
Well, the Chiefs won.
Do you know what?
Well.
I was going to say, when Palermo are getting relegated, it's like, well, the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I love pigskin.
Yeah, I do. There's been lots of controversy this week as well. Shock, imagine that. Never is there a week
we
don't talk about. Yeah, so it's a first. It's a first. But we'll start. I think we'll sort of go backwards. We'll start here. Wolves 1, Tottenham 1. Wolves, they were a goal down inside a minute. And what wound me up about this is that the commentator turned around and said, a wonder strike from Ndombele. I wouldn't go as far as a wonder strike, did it? It wasn't like Paul Scholes clean, was it? It's on the edge of the box.
And it's straight down the middle of the goal as well.
Yeah,
the goalkeeper moves to suit his defenders.
Yeah,
Patricio too far away from the ball.
Yeah,
so it was just a complication.
Patricio looks like he's getting ready for a deflection. Like he expects the ball to come off the defender and go to the right. So he's dived to the right, and the ball basically just goes in unattended, straight down the middle. It was an awful start.
But then after that, really, Tottenham didn't threaten, did they?
Well, honestly, as a neutral, the worst thing that can happen in a Tottenham game when you're watching as a neutral is if they go a goal up early, because that's it. That was it. It was literally like, right, come on then, boys, back we go. Honestly, I know we'll probably get into it further after we talk about the Wolves thing, but just this type of football just isn't sustainable for Tottenham. It's ridiculous.
Ed, what do you think of Wolves' performance? How they responded to going down a goal so early?
I think Wolves have been quite good, but since losing Jimenez, I think they've lost one game against Burnley. I think they lost the game against Liverpool 4-0 when they lost him. But the way the other lads have responded has been quite promising. They still look a good unit. They're not the unit, but they still look a good one.
Do you think it's important that they stick to 3 at the back? Because when I don't think they look very comfortable when they play a 4.
I kind of know what you mean, because when you've got the likes of Semedo and that running up the pitch, it does leave them quite exposed. So perhaps in the situation they find themselves in, 3 in the back would be the best for them. But I still think they're doing all right, considering. I think Wolves will only get better as the season progresses.
Cotton, right at the beginning of the second half, there was a penalty shout. It went to VAR. It was a challenge on Fabio Silva. Do you think that's a penalty?
Well, here we go. I'm going to answer a question with 2 questions and 2 answers. The thing is, do I think it's a penalty? No. Have they been given this season in handfuls? Yeah, they have. Like, I don't get it. So there was definitely the clip on the bottom of the foot, and we over the last 4 weeks have seen one of those given every weekend. So I don't. What's changed here? What's different this weekend? There's been a few decisions that we'll talk about, obviously, with the VAR and stuff, that it feels like this weekend. I don't know whether it's because obviously it's the Christmas period and all eyes are on Boxing Day and Christmas Day fixtures. Well, not Christmas Day, but Boxing Day and the day after fixtures. So I think everyone kind of bucked up their ideas with their performances, refereeing wise and stuff. But there has been a real shift in the way that decisions have been made in this last weekend. I don't think it's a penalty, but this season it is because they've been given loads. What do you think?
I think it is a penalty, and the reason why I think it's a penalty is because it looks like he's put it this way: he's given a corner. The referee. That's the decision that he gave off the back of it initially, but it didn't. The defender didn't actually touch the ball. He's kicked his foot onto the ball. So if anything, it should be a goal kick if it's not a penalty. But he kicked his foot, whether it's soft or not, it's a penalty.
That's what I mean. Like in any other season, it's soft, and you probably wouldn't give it. But like I said, how many have been given this season? I don't know whether we're coming or going with it.
Does it only get worse from here though? Because as you said, last year we wouldn't have gave it. Certainly not the year before that. Each year, penalties, foul decisions. Even if we look at situations with goalkeepers being fouled in the box, soon you'll be lucky enough to touch the ball. The way it's going.
Well, with that in mind, Sai's got the equaliser with a couple of minutes to go, but
I like him as a player, man.
Me too. I think he's quite an underrated player, especially for Wolves. But I do want to move on because we are talking about refereeing decisions and things like that. I was going to go sort of like in chronological order backwards.
Hold on. We didn't. I'm just saying we didn't even mention that Wolves equalised. We haven't spoken about.
He did. He just said so.
Sai's equalised. We like him.
Oh, okay. We quickly need to moan about the Mourinho thing because this is literally a surefire sign that, like we've said, like this type of football isn't sustainable. How are you playing like counter-attacking, just defensive football against Wolves, man? Like what? And then as soon as they equalised, like Tottenham looked like they wanted to play football, and it's like it's too little, too late. We said it before every other week. Like there's teams that this works against. And there's teams where it doesn't. Like, you can't just set up to play counter-attacking football against every team in the league. It was honestly not even just to Wolves. It weren't even Wolves' fault. But that game to watch was absolute torture, man.
I'm intrigued to see what. Yeah, it was. I mean, I'm intrigued to see what Tottenham fans actually think about it right now because they've been singing 1 minute and then been moaning the next minute, going, Mourinho's at the helm and this, that, and the other. No winning four, exactly. It's not great form for someone who's meant to be challenging either for the title or challenging for a top four position. But you can't, like Harry Kane. How many touches Harry Kane have in his box?
-6.
We moan about this every week, yeah. But yet again, the most complete forward in Europe, apparently. How many yet again, week after week, how many times did Harry Kane have a shot on target this week? I'm not talking about how many did he score, how many shots did he get on target? How many shots off target did he have yesterday?
Yeah, yes, how many shots in general.
Before we move on quickly, there's certain players that get lambasted for this week in, week out, every other week. Mohamed Salah especially. When is Harry Kane going to get reprimanded for the constant diving?
The worst one was against Southampton, where he's initiated the contact, he's looked for Lallana, and if anything, that's dangerous play, and it should be a free kick to Southampton, and he went and win a penalty off that. That's just one of many situations.
Not his dipping under thing, but there was a dive on the halfway line, and then towards the end of the game, when obviously Tottenham needed the win, then Kane is the most ludicrous dive, and this is where we say it all the time as well. He gives a goal kick. Okay, book him then. If you have that adamant, like straight goal kick, you not even want to look at it. But it's clearly a dive then.
I can't remember the last time a yellow card was given for a dive. Even when they go to VAR.
Yeah.
Even when they go to VAR and they'd be like, oh, what? That's not a penalty. It's a free kick the other way. They don't go back, right, okay, well, that's a yellow card for simulation.
It was Martin Tyler and Alan Smith, and they kept saying, well, at this rate, like, you won't be able to initiate any contact, blah, blah, blah. How's it going to stop? How are you going to stop players? In the last year, it's been a lot worse, players going down. Start booking them then. If you know you're going to get booked for simulation every single time, start booking them. And with VAR now, if you go down looking for a penalty and they go and look at it and it's clear that you've dived, you've got even more of a chance of getting booked for simulation. So they really need to like, put their foot down.
They're not answering the questions asked of them, though. You are right. I mean, they were top of the league going in against Liverpool, had to win that, or at least put a statement down, lost 2-1. Liverpool win 7-0, opening game of the weekend. They draw. Liverpool drop points against West Brom, they draw.
Yeah. And they played after as well. They played afterwards. So that was their opportunity to say, right, let's go have it.
Yeah. Do they not have that mentality?
Yeah, spot on, says Stu Allen. Definitely spot on. Our resident Colombian, Javi Prieto, says, "Que pasa, amigos? Hello, gentlemen. How
Not
are
agree
you?"
with you.
Indeed, and Kuan is watching from all over the world, so you can follow us all across the world on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, etc., at To Top Football. Refereeing decisions, we need to continue. Leeds 1, Burnley 0. Now, this is a really big result for Leeds United because they've been lambasted for not being able to keep clean sheets and, leaking too many goals, etc. They've gone out and put a relatively professional performance, but it wasn't all singing and dancing, was it? Because there was a penalty situation that was given in the first 5 minutes. We'll talk about that in a second. Burnley deserved an equaliser, didn't get it. But there was also a formation change a little bit, wasn't there? And this is Bielsa, who always turns around and says, "I'm not changing for anyone. I'm going to keep it the way I want to." They sort of went with a... They sort of went 3/5 at the back, didn't they? And Calvin Phillips, playing centre mid, was dipping in between the two centre halves and playing almost like a bit of a sweeper role. It worked for Leeds, didn't it, Con?
Yeah, Leeds look... It's one of those things because we say it a lot of the time about the naivety and stuff. And they won this game and they did play attacking football. But listen, they did. It's not that they didn't leave chances open to Burnley. There was chances for them, and I think it was Sky Sports showed the graphics of like we've said, it's all well and good watching the attacking football, but it's something like goals conceded Leeds 20th in the Prem, the worst.
Yeah, they conceded 30 goals in the league this season.
It was like chances against created 20th worst. It was literally, the list goes on for defensive woes. And again, in this game, it's all well and good they won this game. But, I mean, they shouldn't have done. They shouldn't have won the game for reasons we're about to go into. But it Leeds as a neutral, it's rock and roll to watch. It's lovely to watch. It's definitely. You always hear the pundits hark back to the days of attacking football. And this is what I'd like to see from Spurs, more football like this. But when they come up against teams that can finish, it's the writing's on the wall. Like you said, 30 goals conceded, the most this season. United put 6 past and could have had another 5 in the second half if it wasn't.
Yeah, Liverpool put 4 past them.
Yeah, exactly. So obviously that segues into why that Leeds shouldn't have won this game. Because
we'll go in order of events on this one. So initially, there's a penalty given after 4 or 5 minutes, and Bamford he's been in contact with Nick Pope. Now, the more I look at it, I think that Nick Pope actually got a touch on the ball first, but that doesn't take away the fact that I still think it's a penalty.
Oh, good. I genuinely thought you were going to say, well, he's got a touch on him, but it's not enough. I was going to
because this is what happens. Say what? But that's the thing. It's like because the goalkeeper got there first, it doesn't mean that it's not a foul. We see this happen on the half. I'll tell you what. Let's go back to last week where with Sheffield United, where Lundstrom gets sent off. Right, he's gone in. He's won the ball off Veltman. Whether you say it's dangerous or not, I don't think there was anything wrong with that one last week. But he's gone in, he's won the ball first, and then he's eaten the man and he's got himself sent off. Now, in this situation, the ball, it looks like it ricochets in a direction which shows that Nick Pope got the ball first. But he's clattered Bamford, absolutely clattered him. How can you not give a penalty for it? It's not a good hard tackle, and it's not 1984 anymore. What do you think, Ed?
No, I agree. We've used this argument, I think, every single week without fail, but it's so true. If it happened in the middle of the park, they wouldn't care less if he got a slight touch on the ball. You fouled the player. So it's definitely a penalty. I don't think there actually can be arguments for this one, regardless. He stopped. He took the player out of the game.
Yeah, I honestly, as soon as I saw it, I didn't even think they were gonna. I think Pope's reaction as well. He doesn't protest too much. He knows he's come and caught him, and there it is. And that was Patrick Bamford's 10th goal. So
that's it. That's all she wrote.
That's it. That's all she wrote. So speaking about all she wrote, if Christine, if you'd like to write to us and give us all your details, I will get that Leeds shirt over to you because I've been proved completely wrong. In fact, proved so wrong that isn't it something like only Robert Lewandowski has scored more goals from open play in Europe this season?
In the top 5 leagues.
In the top 5 leagues.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to go back and make a video at the end of the season about updates on Patrick Bamford through the podcast and just see us slowly fade away.
We're all like,
Bamford. Like Back to the Future and stuff, when like we start going invisible because we don't exist anymore. Like, every time we just going to start fading out more and more.
I can see it turn into like March or something, and it's like, Bamford, he's got to be the first name on the plane. It's got to be at the Euros. What a player!
I literally can't wait.
The door goes to
fan cams in March, April from like Tottenham fans and Arsenal fans and like Chelsea fans outside the stadium. Like, we're missing that clinical edge. I'm telling you now, you get Patrick Bamford in, this team wins the league.
That's exactly what Chelsea are missing. Chelsea are missing a perfect striker like Patrick Bamford.
They actually are.
We'll talk about those in a bit. I've got Ollie G and I love him. By the way, the penalty was dispatched superbly into the top bin as well.
Mate, do you know what was beautiful about that was as well? Just about 2 minutes before that, because obviously it was 5 minutes into the game, Patrick Power were offering even money shot on target Patrick Bamford for the whole game. And,
there you go.
And unlike Sky, it wasn't 10 max either. So thank you, Patrick Power.
Thank you, Patrick Power Bamford. There you go. Right, Ben Mee. His big free kick is deep. Ben Mee has got his eyes on the ball the whole time. Meslier comes out, makes a hash of it, knees in the back of Ben Mee. The ball bounces to Ashley Barnes, who puts it in the back of the net. Referee's already blown the whistle. What are your thoughts on this, gents?
Absolute mess.
That should stand to go. The goalkeepers are far too protected. It's a much safer bet, I think, for the referee to disallow that goal than it would be to give it, had it been the wrong decision.
The goal technically couldn't stand because the referee had already blown the whistle.
Yeah,
however, because the ball had been stopped dead, why didn't he go to VAR to see what had happened? Or why didn't VAR say, hold on a minute, I think that might be a foul elsewhere?
Yeah. But we said this last week. There was, again, the other week, there was a couple of linesmen that were flagging really early. And then someone in the chat asked, why do they leave it so long to give offsides and give decisions? Because of this. Because if the ref lets this play out, literally by a second, if he leaves this by a second, the ball goes in the net, then you go look at VAR. And it's so frustrating because these types of goals and these types of mistakes is exactly why VAR is there. This is what it should be sorting out. But it still isn't, again, because the application of it. This isn't VAR's fault that this goal has been missed or disallowed. It's the application of it. The ref has made the decision too soon, and it should be on him rather than people. Because people will moan about VAR. Like, there's no more about it. Like,
always. I've never been a fan.
I mean, crazy stuff. I mean, we could talk about VAR forever, but...
well, we are going to talk about VAR. There are certain things that happen in the world that are guaranteed. One of them is that you will die at some point. I'm sorry to break that. Everyone will die. You do have to pay taxes, and Souček.
That's what you think.
And Souček scores headers. They are the three things that are guaranteed in life. West Ham 2. Brighton 2. There's VAR controversy in this game as well. Imagine that.
Catch a break, can they, with like getting over the line?
Do you know what the video controversy was? The video controversy in this game is that I watched all 90 minutes of it. That was the controversy.
Poor bugger. It was the greatest game to watch, if I'm honest. Neil Mopo scored just before half time. And then Johnson, young lad. I love seeing academy kids come through and bag. I really do. And he scored on the hour mark. Lewis Dunk then made it 2-1 with a goal which is laden with controversy.
That's such a nice header, though.
Oh, it was lovely by and then it was Souček's header, wasn't it? It was Lewis Dunk had that sort of like stab shot after it hit his arm.
Oh yeah.
So this has been headed by Souček onto the sort of midriff. You know, Lewis Dunk has got his arms in. It's come off his midriff, has then bounced off his elbow, and then as it's come down, he stabbed it home.
I think we're going to have arguments about this.
Do you think this goal should stand?
Yes.
Ed. Cotton says yes. Ed says...
I'm going to be the deciding vote.
I don't think it should stand.
You're mad. It doesn't even touch his hand.
Oh, I don't know. It bounces off and it flicks off his elbow. It's not intentional. I think according to the laws of the game, this goal should definitely be disallowed. Do I think it should be disallowed? No. But if I'm going by the laws of the game, then 100% the goal shouldn't stand.
What game was it a few weeks ago? And it was the exact same thing where his arm was.
It was the Man City game.
Yeah, it was the Man City game, and it was the same thing. And I'm adamant it didn't touch his arm either. And they.
No, was it Man United West Brom?
No, it was Liverpool City.
No, it wasn't. It was the Man City game.
Yeah, it was Laporte in the City game. But here's the thing: I don't think it touched his arm. Right? Okay, you do, but they literally showed 4 camera angles. They zoomed in. There was some pixelated zooming as well, and there was not one angle or bit of footage they rolled backwards and forwards that you could categorically say, it's touched his arm. It really was that inconclusive. So at that point, I mean, I think they should. As soon as he said goal awarded, I was like, do you know what? Good. I'm glad they've given that one because like I said, you can't prove it.
Yeah, for the spirit of the game, I think the goal should stand. I agree, but it's nah. Ed,
do you know what? No, Ed, go ahead.
All right, I've listened to both your arguments. By the letter of the law, the goal should not stand.
I don't think it's touched his hand. I don't think it's touched his hand at all.
I don't agree. I don't agree with the decision. For the spirit of the game, the goal should stand. There's nothing that Dunk could have done. He's jumped up and his arms are in like that, and for me, it's bounced off his stomach, and it's just flicked his elbow, which is below the sleeve line. So therefore, That
just hurts to hear, doesn't it? The elbow's below the sleeve line. So therefore it's a
we're talking about
dead man.
Beginning of the season.
Isn't West Ham Brighton pretty much like a derby as well, almost?
No, it's Brighton Palace. Brighton Palace, that's the M23 derby.
But honestly, do you know that game? Not one single yellow card. That's how boring that game really was.
Even Basuma didn't get booked, and
do you know
he's a walking yellow.
I'll say this, yeah. So Leeds, what did we have yesterday? Leeds game, Liverpool game, Tottenham game, and that West Ham game. Even that game finished 2-2. It's probably one of the most boring Super Sundays I've ever sat through. All the games were pain, man.
We'll run through the Liverpool game then, because I was not inspired by this game. You're right, Cotton.
Oh God, man!
One apiece. It's Sam Allardyce, really, though, isn't it? Mane opened the scoring after 12 minutes, and you think that the floodgates are going to open to a degree, the way that Liverpool can knock the ball around and stuff. If you concede an early goal to Liverpool, it's not normally very plain sailing for you. So the fact that Liverpool had 2 shots on target throughout the whole game, or 3 shots on target, and then Shea Ajayi, he scored with a couple of moments ago. Great header, I think, and the goalkeeper had no chance. He thought it was going wide. He's hit the post. He scrambled across the goal to try and stop it in the end, but it was too late. West Brom have got Sam Allardyce in charge. We will always. He is the perennial survivor when it comes to relegation battles. There's a question from Stephen Cotton from the Evening Express.
Not so much a question, but this is where I want to just unload like we did just before. So obviously it's Big Sam. It is what it is. It's West Brom. It's not a great West Brom team. I mean, look who they brought on to steady the ship with 5 minutes to go. It was Branislav Ivanovic. How old is the geezer? 73?
73.
Older.
But as you said, so you alluded to, Liverpool had 2 shots on target, right? West Brom actually had 3. And they had a chance to actually equalise way before Ajayi with, who's your guy? He scored against City.
But Alisson pulled off a cracking save.
Sawyers. Was it Sawyers?
No. It was the guy who scored against City. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. But so West Brom actually ended up having 3 shots on target to Liverpool's 2. Now, I understand it's dropped points and Klopp wasn't very happy. But after the game, he was very passive-aggressive towards West Brom, and he was like, well, what can you do when people are playing 6-4? What can you do? And honestly, my question is, so maybe I do have a question. What genuinely, Liverpool are still the best team in Europe, if not them or Bayern Munich, right? They're still the best team in Europe. They're the best team in the Premier League by a mile anyway.
By Coach Meyer.
Does he expect relegation fodder to rock up to Anfield and play 4-2-2.
Yeah, some mad like tiki-taka stuff.
Yeah, let's go attack them. Let's go attack the best team in the league. Let's literally balls to the wall. Let's go for it. No, of course they're going to sit back and defend. Fair play to West Brom as well, because the game plan went out the window after 12 minutes. Like, you're already losing, so you can't just defend. But I think they got what they deserved at this game. I think Liverpool came into it a little bit lackadaisical, a little bit, well, we're going to win this game, so foot off the gas.
Massive level of complacency involved in that game.
And but that's the thing as well, like, Sam deserves credit for that. He was in charge for the City game, wasn't he?
No, that was the last game.
That was brilliant.
But this West Brom team and how resolute they are, they've now played City and Liverpool and gotten 2 points. You wouldn't have thought that. But honestly, I just the thought of Klopp saying, "I can't believe they were playing defensive." Like, mate, come on. And like again, and he said, "Oh, what did they do? Score with their one shot on target? I had more shots on target than you, mate." Like, I get that
at Anfield.
Yeah, you can't always come out and be like, "Oh, well, they were great and the manager's got it spot on." I know you can't, but sometimes have a little bit of humility, have a little bit of "well done, Big Sam." Do you know what I mean? It just wound me up so much, man.
Well, you're wound up, and you're not even a Liverpool fan, so I want to know what your thoughts are, Ed.
We had lots of promising moments in the game. Still could have won it despite equalising. Firmino, missed a great opportunity towards the end of the game. Liverpool have dropped points against Brighton, Fulham, and West Brom. All three relegation candidates, and all three of them have ended 1-1. So perhaps you are right in saying a bit of complacency's fallen in. Because here's the thing, we've got Newcastle away. Liverpool will probably respond and spank them 4-0. That's exactly what Liverpool are doing at the moment. Here's the thing, Klopp knows exactly what they were going to do. Klopp is just triggered by the result. Yeah. And that's the problem with post-match interviews. If you asked him on a Wednesday, he would probably laugh about it. There's been multiple occasions where that guy post-match has said something he later regrets and then has come out to apologise. Every manager does it.
Unless you Nuno Espirito Santo.
Yeah,
he just stands by what he says. He couldn't care less.
4 or 5 years now, it must be. And he's been in world football for much longer. West Brom played all right, to be fair. They got their best opportunity, as Cotton said, was the chance before the equaliser. They got fortunate with the equaliser bouncing in off the post. But that's football. Liverpool get lucky all the time. You've got to make your own luck.
I'm not
too concerned. To be honest with you, as a Liverpool fan, it's like, disappointing, but we still technically gained a point on a lot of teams. The teams around us.
It's a good week to only get a point, isn't it, with everyone else?
Tottenham went on to drop points. So really, this is just going to be everyone get back to the training ground. What went wrong? We need to turn up next week and we'll go again.
We lost. Say, though, we do need to give massive props to Sam Johnstone, because Liverpool could have re-stolen it with about 2 minutes to go, and Johnstone pulled off like an unbelievable flick around the post save. It was absolutely mega, that save. He made some incredible ones against City. Listen, I'm thinking maybe Sam Johnstone maybe keeps playing like this. Maybe he gets on the plane. Maybe he goes to the Euros.
It's just be another ex-Man United player as well, isn't it? Yeah. Over Bamford.
No, Ed, Johnson's been good for a while. He has been.
Johnson has been good.
Yeah, of course he's been good for a while. But if we can't get Nick Pope into the side, come on.
Well, he didn't score at the weekend, and he went up for 2 corners and a free kick. So Nick Pope is not in my good books.
Well,
that really would have made Christmas, man. And Nick Pope near post header would have just. Oof.
I would have loved it. Simon is watching the show. Thank you very much for watching. It's the Big Sam effect. I'm livid. He's a Liverpool fan, just to add clarity to this. I'm livid that we look at teams like that and think it's going to be an easy game. If any team's going to challenge for the title, you've got to treat every match as if it's the Champions League final. I mean, like, Liverpool are still ravaged with injury, and I will defend them on that respect. So, there are certain players that they would like to have in certain positions, but they're almost at full strength now, and because they should be dominating games again. That industry in the middle of the park, that front three that we all know that are brilliant. Although I did see a stat which I sent to Cotton yesterday about Mane, who I love and always put him in teams of the year at the moment. But for the beginning of the last season, He scored less goals than
it's same goals as Rashford, but Rashford's
got same goal. Yeah, in
assists Rashford's got.
Exactly. Rashford could have had a lot more goals though in this game, and we did a live watch along for this game. It was Leicester 2, Manchester United 2. Goals did come from Rashford, and Harvey Barnes equalised. Bruno Fernandes right towards the end thought he sealed the 3 points for Man United before Jamie Vardy's deflected shot, which has now gone down as a Twanzebe own goal 5 minutes from time, shared the spoils there. But we did, as I said, we did the watch along for this game. Man United, every time they took the lead, they looked in control. They were doing bits, and they just I don't know. I'm not going to start digging out Ollie because I don't think it's Ollie's beef here. But what's going on there, Cotton?
It's definitely not Ollie's beef, man. Like, it's stupid things that you just can't, like, absolute sickeners, like people missing open goal. Like 5 minutes in, I don't even know if it was 5 minutes in. Marcus Rashford is 4 yards out. The keeper's nowhere near him. Literally head it into an empty net, basically, and he's put it over. There was so many times we were 2v1 on a counter attack, and whoever the player was playing the pass, trying to get it through to the striker, hit it straight at the defender. Rashford took his goal really calmly, and we even said during the watch long, that's what we want to see more from Rashford. Open your body, finesse it into the corner.
Yeah,
so then what does he do 20 minutes later? He's one-on-one with the keeper, absolutely hammers it straight down his throat. He's got either bottom corner to roll it into, hammers it straight down his throat. I think Martial missed another decent opportunity. Other players were missing opportunities.
Martial's getting dug out hard. Mate,
we could have, again. It's the story of our season at the minute. We could have been 3-0 up. We could have been gone, and players just not taking their chances. And we need to at the minute, because you can always, if one thing you can guarantee, it's players not taking chances. If the other thing you can guarantee is we will concede soft, sloppy, poor defensive goals always, and it's just getting so boring, man.
Now, when we were doing the watch along, we said about the Harvey Barnes equaliser. I thought it was a really good strike, but you know, when you look at it a little bit deeper, there's a few questions to be asked about De Gea. Ed, do you think it's De Gea's beef there, or do you think it was a good strike, or a combination of the two?
Combination of the two. I think most of the time it's always going to be a combination of the two. He struck it well, so I've got to give credit to Harvey Barnes there. But De Gea's reactions are so slow, and I'm not talking about the reaction to the save. I'm talking about the positioning, the little hop he does beforehand. The ball's mid-air. The ball's like effectively stopped for an intermission break before he's took that first hop. De Gea is on the decline. I don't care what anyone says. But if everyone knows this, I'm not saying anything controversial. De Gea's been on the decline for the last 2.5 years, and he's not going to. We don't know many players who bounce back. So surely it's time to think of the future. Who's literally on the bench?
Yeah, he's there.
But this is happening week in, week out. And I like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's actually grown on me in the last few years. But decisions like that, I honestly believe, now stick Dean Henderson in. Prove that does he need to keep the dressing room on side? Because does he have a group of players who are so fragile where, you know, if he starts pissing off a group of players, next thing you know, he's out and some new managers in.
But do you know what as well? Like, there was a part just leading up to well, it wasn't leading up to one of the goals, but there was a point where the ball went back to De Gea, and again, so slow to get the ball out of his feet, and he nearly gets the ball taken off him, then plays an awful pass, and then yet again he was holding his lower back like, I think something went, because Henderson started warming up, and I was
I remember. Yeah,
I was like, get him off then, just get him off. One person I do have to dig out for the Barnes goal is my son. McTominay was way too slow getting out to him. Nobody goes to close. Like, the defenders can't do too much. They're already in the box. They won't get out to him in time. McTominay kind of runs alongside him for a bit and probably should get stuck in. So yeah, he was at fault for that. Bruno Fernandes. Hold on, where's this stat for you?
Why's he getting that as a stat? Oh, you got it.
Yeah, so Bruno Fernandes has more goal involvements in a calendar year than any other midfielder in the history of the Premier League.
Wow.
Rascal.
Yeah. So that's goals and assists, obviously, but yeah.
But De Bruyne has had a much better season so far. So
of course he has. Yeah.
Lovely. Right, winner. Hey,
De Bruyne dirt like that.
Hey, no, because De Bruyne is boss.
De Bruyne looks like he's coming back to form, doesn't he?
Well, I would have De Bruyne in my team. If I had to pick one or the other, I'll have De Bruyne. But in terms of form, in terms of form, it's Fernandes the whole day. And this is an argument I was having with someone earlier on today. It's a bit like, if you turn around and say to someone who's the best player in the world right now, people just go, "Oh, it's got to be Messi or Ronaldo." It's like, well, no, they're the best two players to ever grace the game. But who is the best player in the world right now? Who's the best player of 2020? Who's the best player of the 2021 season?
Could be better than De Bruyne. The reason I don't want to put so much dirt on De Bruyne's name is De Bruyne has been one of the best midfielders I've ever seen in the Premier League.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, definitely.
Bruno Fernandes, has been banging since he's joined the league. So I could then look at the end of his Premier League tenure and go, you know what? He also was.
Bang on the money. No, I agree. It was the goal that Fernandes scored actually came from an assist by Edinson Cavani, who replaced Martial with about 15-20 minutes to go. Yeah. Now, there is a chance that Cavani could have a few games banned because of his comments that he made on social media. However, until that happens, does he have to get a run of games now?
100%. Honestly, it's so backwards. So, all right, we'll give Martial 60 minutes, and then we'll stick on Cavani. Other way round, man. Give Cavani 60 minutes. He's got the clinical finishing. We've seen the last few weeks he's got assists in him as well. He'd been on the pitch for like 3 or 4 minutes, and he'd already assisted. And it was nice to see someone actually play a nice pass. Get him on, get him playing. Then bring Martial on for the last 30, 25 minutes when players are tired, and let him run at them. Because Martial yet again was absolutely stinky, man. Just wandering around, no touch, no drive, no nothing. Cavani comes on. The geezer's like 37, comes on and he's moving around the pitch like a youngster. Like he wants to get in behind. He wants to make the moves. He wants to get on the end of stuff. He wants to be a striker. How many times have we seen in the last few weeks a ball goes into the corridor and there's no one there to finish it? Cavani wants to be there, man. And exactly. Martial is not a number 9. I couldn't tell you what he is. He's probably. I'd say I'd play him out on the wing. But then, you've got the worry. He ain't going to track back. You can't trust Martial to come back and see. Where do you even put him these days?
It's a bit of a luxury player to bring off the bench and just if you are playing a 4-3-3 with interchangeable players. When you have just say if you're going with a front three of Martial, Rashford, Greenwood, he's perfect to play in that system because you don't have to just play him directly through the middle. You don't have to play him from the right, from the left cutting in. You can just freely move the three of them around. But if you're going to start with Cavani, I can't see where Martial would be able to be a part of that.
Yeah, if I was Cavani, I'd say Martial, use my phone, and then that just kills 2 birds with 1 stone. Martial has one good attribute, though. To be fair, I'll give him that. He always seems to pull off the quick cut into the right, the little dummy, and then brings it onto his right foot. But what he does with his right foot is absolute car crash. So, I think he, again, another player who's out of form, who starts week in, week out, and then week in, week out, you're playing really well and dropping points, important points. So surely you know what you got to do there.
Well, the thing is, he's sort of blagged himself a free rein this season because the amount of goals that he scored, especially towards the end of last season. What he scored, I think he scored in total 20 odd goals, and he pretty much had 1 in 2, didn't he, Martial? But even then, he wasn't overly convincing for me, and I think the price tag that was spent a long time ago now as well, because this is 4th, 5th season there now at Man United. I think initially they were like, oh, well, we spent all this money, we've got to play him. Whereas it's that's sort of gone down by the wayside now. He needs a bit of time out of the game or in the system that suits him.
He should be your number 2. He'd be a brilliant player to bring on against tired legs, not the opposite way around.
Yeah, exactly. Cavani should be starting. End of.
It's super quick. Right then, boys, it's time for this.
What's Everton?
I actually feel for Sheffield United in this game, I
don't.
They've just tried to hold it down. and just make sure no drama happens. And then, to be fair, Sigurdsson's finish was pretty tidy. Sheffield United 0, Everton 1. The Everton they bounced up to second at one point. So like this is
second, didn't they?
Did they remain in second?
Second.
Oh, I've got a table.
Everyone drew.
I've got a table. We'll bring it up towards the end.
You expect Tottenham to win, that's why.
Yeah, I think so. It was, yeah. Sheffield United, man, 15 games, 2 points. We talk about them every week. It's such a shame. I think they deserve to hang on to this game, though. I really do.
But here's the thing, man. It's like if they held that Brighton 1-0 lead, was it last game week? Was it the last game week they played Brighton? And then they get a point here. A little bit of hope can set in that maybe we can claw ourselves out of this. But it doesn't matter how well they play. In the end, they run out of steam, or there's 1 minute where they're not on the ball, and they get pounced on. And this isn't. But that happened last year. But they did have the magic of Dean Henderson to pull off that 1 minute save.
Yes.
So that's it. We know where the problem is.
Yeah, Ramsdale didn't have a good game again.
Shock horror.
Imagine that.
Flapping everything. Oh, do you know what? This was the tale of. I couldn't believe it, and this is how crazy. You want to talk about how crazy football has got with money and stuff. This game was a battle between the number 1 and number 2 most expensive goalkeepers in English history.
That is disgusting. A 30 mil signing and a 20 mil signing. And they're both absolutely toilet.
Both in this game came for crosses and dropped them, flapping at everything, crashing into defenders. It was honestly horrible to watch. Sheffield United.
How old is Ramsdale?
Ramsdale was early 20s. Yeah.
22.
So Ramsdale could come good. Pickford's still really young, actually, isn't he? So.
Love that delivery. You ready?
Oh, it's too early for that.
No, it's my favourite sound in the world. And it's a perfect timing to receive that because it's time to talk about my boys.
All right, guys, we'll see you later.
I can't believe I am still in shock because I told every single person that I know that has £1, £1,000, whatever money in their 365 account or other betting sites are available. Chelsea even money. Put it on right now. And we were in the watch along for we did a watch along for this game as well, but we did during the watch along for the Leicester Man United game when we were advertising that we were going to do a watch along for this game. People were going, Arsenal are going to win today, and we all laughed and we all sat there. We were like, "What are you on?
It was the confidence they were saying it though. It wasn't the
absolutely balls deep with it as well. And it's like,
but they go into every game week saying that in the hope that it happens.
Yeah, and then they go, see, I told you. It's about time that Arsenal put in a performance. It was just so lovely to see the kids turn up and basically say what's what, because Arsenal played. I thought they were going to play 5 at the back. When the way it lined out, I wasn't overly convinced, but it was a 4-2-3-1. It's a guaranteed 4-2-3-1 with Martinelli, Saka, and Emil Smith-Rowe playing in behind Lacazette, and it's the best performance I've seen in the Premier League from Arsenal in 12 months, and I was so happy to see it happen. However, Chelsea, they did not show up at all.
I was just about to say, I don't want to take too much of a shine off of how good of
the Arsenal passing was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, how the Arsenal played well. Do not get me wrong.
El Neni played forward passes.
Yeah, as good as Arsenal were. Yeah, but El Neni was allowed to play forward passes. Chelsea were just so I literally said during the watch. Did we do it during the watch along? I literally,
you did.
I can't believe how Kante was the best central midfielder in world football for 2 years running. Where's he gone, man? What have they done with him? He had a terrible game. Just Chelsea were just partying like the Red Sea anytime you came near them. It was 6s and 7s at the back. Reece James had a stinker. I just honestly, it was baffling to watch how they literally rolled over.
Before we break the matrix and compliment Arsenal for a good 5 minutes, what is Chelsea's best team? Because I reckon I'll get more sense out of you because Frank Lampard doesn't know his best Chelsea side.
Chelsea's
it changes
best
every
team.
other week.
Chelsea's
I think formation-wise, they've got the right formation.
Yeah.
But
Give me your best team.
Or have they got the right formation? Yes,
Chelsea's
they have.
best
Yes,
team-
they have.
Chelsea's best team is the one that got to the 08 Champions League final.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Bring Marco
we've got
Ballack
Frank
back.
then. We've got Frank then, so...
Yeah.
All right, so right now,
if
if I had to pick a Chelsea team right now, I'd go Mendy, because he's never let in a goal in his whole career, which is
correct,
amazing.
yeah. Best goalkeeper of all time.
Chilwell left back, James right back, Silva and Zuma. That pretty much picks itself. Zuma's been great. Then I'd go. Are we not taking injuries into account?
No injuries.
Okay, no injuries. So then I'd go midfield three of Kante, Kovacic, and Ziyech in the midfield as a midfielder. Yeah, well, just behind. That's where he used to play for.
It's just like a bit like how Leicester do the 6-8-10 sort of thing.
And then I'm playing, and I'm going to give myself stick for this because I moan about it all the time. Werner on the left, just so I could shoehorn either Giroud or Abraham starting up front. Probably Giroud, then bring Abraham on, and then right wing, I'm playing Pulisic on the right.
I'm not too far behind that. I'm thinking I'm going to change my mind. I did say 4-3-3. I think I'm going to go 4-2-3-1. And my two holder, back four and goalkeeper remain the same. My two holding, I'm going to have Jorginho and Kante. And then three in behind, I'm going to have Havertz in the 10. I'm going to have Callum Hudson-Odoi wide right. Wide left, I'm going to have Pulisic, and then Abraham through the middle.
But you see the difference between them two sides?
Yeah.
The sheer arsenal they have of players and the one formation you both agreed on, that doesn't work.
Well, the thing, I changed my mind on the formation. I changed my mind. I was like, I can't do 4-3-3. But it depends who you're playing, because then, like, Ziyech is an absolute baller, but then maybe I'll put Ziyech wide right instead of Callum Hudson-Odoi. But I love how explosive and quick and skillful Hudson-Odoi is. So it's.
And will they go for another centre back surely in the next window or the next January window? I don't
go get Canate.
How long's Thiago Silva got?
I don't think centre back is their main problem at the minute. To be honest,
no, it's no. Well, they've got an abundance of attacking prowess.
Well, that's the problem. Their problem is Havertz can't play in the Premier League just yet. Werner keeps going out so wide that there's no point in him. Like, he's not a striker. So the problem is they're not creating enough chances or scoring enough chances. But they've just spent 300 million on attacking options in the summer. There's no way they can go out and go buy someone else. There's no way. They've just brought Havertz, Ziyech, Werner. Literally like a whole new front three sort of thing, and they're not producing. So there's no way they can just go, well, we'll go get someone else in.
Are we going to see a Sam De Bruyne situation with maybe a Kai Havertz, or at least one of them probably going elsewhere and performing well?
Kai Havertz will come good when Frank Lampard leaves. And I don't think, and that's not me trying to say that Frank Lampard needs to get the sack. It really isn't. But I don't think Frank Lampard knows what he's doing with Kai Havertz right now. And it'll take a couple. Yeah, it would be a couple of years before we find that. And what I don't want to see is, which I've seen a couple of times, is Havertz when he comes on or when he starts playing so deep. He's almost like playing as like an 8, and that is not what he's about. He is a support striker.
If you're basically a striker.
Yeah, if you're playing 4-4-1-1 or 4-2-3-1, he is in that position behind your main man.
I like Mason Mount. Yeah, I think I would like Mason Mount.
I like him.
But Kai Havertz has actually been doing it at a higher level for a lot longer than Mason Mount. Kai Havertz, the one who's got all the plaudits. Kai Havertz, I knew about first. You know, Kai Havertz was the one you have your eye on. Yet Mason Mount's getting in the team before this marquee signing they've just brought in.
Yeah, and they have spent.
So if you already had Mason Mount, why did you get Kai Havertz?
Yeah, silly stuff. What I do like about this game is the fact that Laka, Xhaka and Saka scored.
Yes.
Xhaka's free kick was fantastic. The penalty that was awarded for Lacazette to open the scoring. I don't understand why it took so long to look at on VAR. I thought it was probably the most stonewall penalty you see. One of two of the most stonewall penalties you'll ever see, because the other penalty that was given in the game, Pablo Mari's challenge at the end, that was equally stonewall. There's no arguments really. And Bukayo Saka, he scored. Now, did he mean it or did he not? I think he did mean it. When he had the ball at his feet, he looked across to see who he can knock it into. But then as he struck the ball, he's looked directly at that far post. So for me, he's meant it.
So you think he meant it? So you think he meant to accidentally hit the ball in the middle rather than side foot, and then he's looked across
to see if there's anyone in the box, and then he's looked down at the ball and looked at the far post as he struck it.
You think Saka's tried a knuckleball from like a 60-degree angle? You really think he's tried a knuckleball from there?
Watch it again. He's meant that.
He's even joked saying that. Oh yeah, of course I meant it. Wink, wink. Like,
I think he meant it.
He literally looks across to the back post and he mishits across, and you can see it move in the air. It's not like he's shot and it literally deviates and then like it hits the post, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sort of hits the post and goes in.
Literally across that has gone wrong.
El Ghazi definitely meant his. Let's be real about that. Villa 3, Palace 0. Now Villa went down to 10 men in this game, and so I want to talk about that in particular, because I don't agree with half of the reason why he was sent off. So Traore scored
with his right foot.
With his right foot. It's funny because it's Traore. Courtney Hawes, his goal, it was deemed a goal via goal line technology and moment of technology that we love. And then right at the end, El Ghazi's strike was.
El Ghazi's strike annoyed me a bit.
Why did it annoy you?
Because the keeper's been beat by a shot that's curling out, like it's an outswinging shot. Like, I don't think you should be beaten from that angle from there with an outswinging shot. It's a great finish, but. Yeah.
Tyrone Mings received a red card for 2 yellow cards. The second one is a definite yellow card.
Yeah.
Why make that silly challenge there? But the first yellow card he received, it wasn't his beef, and he didn't get involved in any beef.
He also tried to put, everyone was grabbing him, and he was literally putting his hands up, looking at the referee, walking away like, not me, bruv. Listen, I'm not involved.
He was not involved. He didn't do anything wrong, and he got a yellow card for it. And because it's a second yellow, they can't appeal it, so he's going to miss the next game.
But you know why he's been booked, man? Because the referee, like, just a pure cop-out at the minute. If 2 players are involved in a little tussle, book them both. But just book them both. That's the answer. Don't book either of them, or book them both. It doesn't matter if one of them's been the aggressor and the other one's just stood there and had his shirt grabbed. You either book them both or you don't. And unfortunately for Mings, that's what happened. But it's just before half time. It's Zaha again, the man that rolled him up to get the original booking. He's gonna go past you, mate. No matter what. Zaha's rapid. Just don't. At least try and attempt to play the ball. He's literally just grabbed him and pulled him back, and it's like, and then he literally had a look on him like, "What, are you sending me off?" And it's like, mate, come on, you know
just
better
been
than
booked.
This.
You're booked.
You know better than this. 5 minutes before.
5 minutes before. Yeah, it's pathetic stuff. But Palace, that's 10 goals conceded in the last 2 games now.
Oof.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I know, but like 7 did come in one of them.
Hey, listen, numbers are numbers.
But that still averages 5. That still averages 5
this is coming from the lads who go stats to stats. Like, come on.
Like,
but it's still 10 goals that they've shipped. And that's concerning.
No, it's fine.
They were 1-0 down. They were 1-0 down in this game at half time against 10 men, and they've shipped 2 more goals, and it could have been more.
No,
that is pretty poor. That's pretty poor.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. If this was Leeds, we'd be saying about this right now. That's all I'm saying.
That's the best defensive record.
One off.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
But do you know what with Palace? Yeah, like it is. Sorry, like just quickly, like the Palace. Unless Zaha rocks up, that's it. Like that's literally it. That squad. Unless Zaha
occasionally Townsend or Punchin or whatever his name is.
Jason Punchin, what a player. Right,
No, I'm not thinking them. I'm not thinking of.
Andy Johnson. Remember when he got
easy, isn't it? Eze.
Yeah,
Eze,
good.
Rich Eze, good player. Man City 2, Newcastle 0. Why are Man City scoring as many goals as they used to? They don't even look like they want to score many goals.
I don't know. I can't put a finger on it.
They're just looking for the points, man.
Yeah, well, exactly. Even if you put Aguero back into the team right now, I can't see them scoring 3, 4, 5 goals a game anymore.
I genuinely, Aguero was one of my favourite players before he joined City, and I still love him as a player. But it's horrible to say this. He has aged and he has dropped pace so drastically in the last 6 months to a year. Like you can already tell that he's going to start his decline now. Aguero is still a world-class striker. Don't get me wrong. Before people jump on me, but you can tell that it's coming to that time now where it
How old is Aguero?
32.
Yeah, I mean, he should have already started his decline.
And I'm telling you now, we already know, if you watch the show, that I don't rate Jesus at all. Yeah, he's 32, so he'll be 33 in June. So, the experiments failed, right? When Aguero's dipped out of the squad for injury every other month, they've put Jesus in. He hasn't been the prolific goal scorer they wanted. So I think come summer, or even January, it'll be like, right, phase Aguero out gently, but City need a big boy centre forward. They need a real striker now.
They need to look at 2, maybe 3 strikers. Every club has got at least three strikers at the club.
Yeah,
they have to.
Into Milan potentially. Just get I know that would just look like a carbon copy of Aguero. Like they're just trying to get a younger version.
What, like Lacio Martinez?
Yeah,
Lacio Martinez is a baller, man. He won't be at Inter much longer. I'm surprised that he stuck around at Inter. I know they'd only just brought him the season before, but with Lukaku going there, I was like, Jesus, like that's some stiff competition. But I think Martinez will go Barca, to be honest with you. But that's someone they should be looking at. Someone like that. I mean, Haaland's name will get banded around for a while, which it wouldn't be a bad shout.
Well, City are a huge club in England now, so they could easily get, and we all know how rich they are, so they can certainly get these players. They can even get a billion.
But the problem
is, whoever they want.
The problem is, as displayed at Bayern Munich, even at Bayern Munich, Pep doesn't like big strikers, man. He doesn't like target men, and which is what City need at the minute. He doesn't like them. He likes players like Messi, like Aguero, small, agile, fast, nimble, low centre of gravity players. Yeah, he doesn't want a lump. Which
he's been successful, isn't he?
One of other than Aguero, the most prolific goal scorer for City in the Premier League was Dzeko, and they still didn't like playing Dzeko all the time.
Yeah, Negredo,
yeah.
Joe.
Joe's baller, man. Fulham 0, Southampton 0. And that is the end of that. There's no point.
Honestly,
there's nothing to talk about in that game.
Say Fulham, fair play to them. They look like they're really grinding out results here. I know they're only draws, but they mean a lot in a title race, in a relegation race. Sorry. And Southampton, without their fully stripped side, they're not the same team, are they? Which like most, but hey, you're Southampton. Just push on. They
struggled without Romeo that game, because Romeo could do all the linchpin stuff, which allows Ward-Prowse to be more free and available. Where Giallo is. We
didn't really talk about Steve Bruce either, man. Like just off this Man City game, you weren't expected to win. Just move on to the next one, which is Liverpool. But okay.
With the Southampton game, I did see, because I was watching the Villa game instead. I did see there was like 2 goals disallowed and a penalty disallowed. There was like Southampton had a few chances chalked off.
Yeah, but they're all legit.
Yeah, no.
Reasons were right. It was a bad game of football to watch. But every time I flipped over to the Villa Palace game, there wasn't anything happening in that, and I had invested interest in the Fulham Southampton game. So let's have a look at the table. Right then. So this is the bottom of the table first of all. Arsenal remain in 15th despite despite their emphatic victory against Chelsea. They are still on 17 points, and even with a victory in their next game, they still will be in the bottom half. Sheffield United, as we know, they are doomed. West Brom picking up a point again. They're only 5 points from safety now. Excuse me. Although Burnley, who occupies 17th place, have got a game in hand, and they could boost up to 16 points if they win that game in hand against Manchester City. In the top half, Liverpool, they are still top, 32 points from a possible 45. They've only lost one game this season, but it's the draws that are letting them down a little bit. Everton, as we alluded to earlier, are in second spot. They're a point ahead of Leicester, who are in third. Manchester United dropped down to fourth place, but they could go back into second with a win with their game in hand, and their game in hand is against Aston Villa, I believe. Tottenham, fifth place. They're on 26, level on points with Man City. Villa, they've got 2 games in hand over a couple of the clubs above them, so they could go up to second themselves. They're on 25 points, level with Chelsea. Southampton and West Ham complete the top half. Now, let's have a look at the fixtures. All these games are on Amazon Prime. Woo! Amazon Prime. Woo! Right, so they start today. If you're watching this today, if you're listening back to this tomorrow, these games were yesterday. So that is.
And
Palace
if tomorrow was
Leicester.
yesterday, then you're in the future, really, really in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not even saying Monday or Tuesday. We're saying today, yesterday, and tomorrow. So this could be. You could just have to guess and turn on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, exactly. And if it might buffer, it might not, and you might skip a bit. And then you'll be into yesterday. But that is Crystal Palace versus Leicester. That is 3 p.m. on Monday, the 28th of December. Followed by Chelsea versus Aston Villa at 5:30. Everton versus Man City, 8 o'clock. Then on Tuesday, the 29th, you've got Brighton versus Arsenal. Arsenal's bogey team. Arsenal have only won one game against Brighton since they've been in the top flight. In the top flight since the football began in 1992. Burnley versus Sheffield United. Southampton versus West Ham, West Brom versus Leeds, and Manchester United versus Wolves. And then on the 30th, you've got Tottenham versus Fulham. I'm really intrigued about that game, to be honest. I really am. And then Newcastle versus Liverpool. That completes the fixtures for this week. I think we're going to do. I might do a watch along for the Newcastle Liverpool game.
Yeah, we did a Liverpool game for a little while.
But the review show will be on the 31st.
Oh, what about
Lunchtime?
I was thinking, what about United Wolves tomorrow at 8?
20. No, we'll probably do it. We'll talk about it off air.
Okay.
Try and let the fans know when we're back.
What should we do?
Try and let the fans know when we're back.
We're
Devo from Football Dugout. We're going to win the league. Arsenal fan heard it here first.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask who it was. Isn't it? Right.
Oh,
also,
the Bundesliga show, yeah.
Also, we'll be unbeaten throughout 2021. Oh my God, I can see us getting beat by Newcastle in the second. well, bloody hell. Hey, you never know. Arteta's at the wheel, mate. Right, Simon, he says, a question for after reviews. We'll do it another time. Look at your own club, January sales coming up. What does your team need? I'll tell you what, we'll have another show on that. We're going
to do that. We'll do an end of year.
Yeah, we'll have a little recording session. We'll chat about those bits and bobs. But that's it from us. We are going to be doing a watch along for the Old Firm as well, so look forward to that on Saturday.
I love how you said that for the Old Firm.
The Old Firm. Glasgow kisses all round. Hey, there you go. I actually think Celtic are going to win that one.
No.
Yeah, I want Rangers to win the league, but I do think Celtic are going to win this particular Old Firm derby.
No way.
That's it from us today. You can like, share, subscribe. In fact, let's get some imagery for that. Actually, you could subscribe to our YouTube channel. Ooh.
We hit 722 subscribers now, so we're on the way up.
It's nice. And you can. Which page is this? That is the Facebook page.
That's our main Facebook page. Yeah.
Yes, and what's that one? That's Instagram.
That's the Instagram. That's on the way back. Don't worry.
Yeah, so we need to bounce that back to where we need to be. But for myself, Gav Mack, Stephen Cotton, and Ed Hall, Southgate out.
Southgate out.
Southgate in.
What?